Hello everyone. So today we'll do a grade 10th poem from First Flight, Amanda by Robin Glenn. So this poem basically is written by Robin Glenn, who writes poems which are related to children, especially teenagers, and he mostly points out their feelings, their inner feelings about the social norms, the society in which they live. Here in this particular poem, Robin Glenn has expressed the views of a little girl, Amanda, who is constantly pointed out by her mother. Like you all can relate with this poem, especially the kids who are in the age group of 12 or 13, or they are teenagers. So whenever your mom points out something regarding your habits, regarding the way you should say it, how you should behave, etc., you will be able to relate how it makes you feel. So in this poem also, Robin Glenn is pointing out Amanda's mother, who constantly nags her or points out her mistakes. Now, mistakes basically which she considers as a kind of code of conduct of the society, something, some rules which are laid down by the society, how to behave, how to sit, and how to act, etc. So a way of living basically. So here this poem deals with a very small girl, age can be, we can imagine it can be 12 to 13, between 12 and 13. So let's get started and let's see how Amanda is being treated by her mother or nagged by her mother, and how Amanda feels. So, in this complete poem, you will find that this poem is written in a way wherein you will find a lot of exclamatory sentences in the poem. So in one stanza you'll find dialogues in the form of exclamatory statements, or maybe in the form of interrogative statements from Amanda's mother, and in the next stanza, soon after that, it follows the kind of thoughts. We can't say a reaction of Amanda, because Amanda is not reacting to anything specifically, but we can say that the next stanza soon after that points out Amanda's inner thoughts and inner feelings, how the scolding of her mother, or how the nagging of her mother basically makes her feel. Right, so let's get started. Stanza 1. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So in this first stanza, as you can see that the poet has used a lot of exclamatory statements. Now, when do we use exclamatory statements or exclamatory sentences? For requests or for orders. So as this poem is related with the mom's nagging at Amanda, so we can say that these are orders which are coming from Amanda's mother and not the requests. So we can consider these statements as orders from Amanda's mother. So she says, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. So you can very much relate, with your own life, especially when you were 12 or 13 years old, when every time your mom used to tell you how you're supposed to sit, how you're supposed to behave, what should be your gesture, what should be your posture. So here Amanda's mother is telling her, maybe Amanda might be maybe having a habit of biting her nails. So her mother is saying, her mother is scolding her in one way and pointing at her and stating don't bite your nails. Okay, so you should not bite your nails, Amanda, she's saying. Then in next verse she's saying, don't hunch your shoulders. Now what do you mean by hunch? Hunch is to bend your back, okay, with your shoulders bent forward, okay, which creates a kind of a round shape at your back, कंधे झुका के बैठना. So her mom is pointing out her posture, wrong posture, and saying, don't hunch your shoulders, don't bend your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. So slouching is what? Slouching is to do something lazily. Okay, laziness. So she's saying, don't be so lazy, stop that laziness, Amanda, and sit up straight. Okay, so she, in these four verses, she is basically pointing out Amanda's habits and posture specifically. Now how this mom's nagging or scolding affects Amanda, let's see that. So in brackets you will find every time after Amanda's mother's words, you will find something written in brackets. The next stanza will be in brackets. So the brackets basically will denote Amanda's inner thoughts, okay, how she feels. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So, Amanda feels that because she's not liking her mom's nagging and scolding, so she wants to be free, she wants freedom. So, in imagination, she thinks that there is a languid emerald sea. Now, what do you mean by languid? Relaxed, okay, to get relaxed. So, she's thinking that there is a very calm, relaxed sea. Okay, there is a languid emerald sea, very relaxed, very calm. What kind of sea? Emerald sea. Now sea is being compared with emerald. Emerald is a green colored precious stone. Okay, so the sea is being compared with emerald. Basically a metaphor is used here, which I'm going to discuss and talk about later. So then she thinks, she imagines that there's a very relaxed, calm, and a sea just like emerald, and where the sole inhabitant is me. So she's thinking that there is no one else in that sea. Who is the only soul? Only one. Who is living there? Who is reciting there? Who is inhabitant means to recite, to live. So who is the only inhabitant there? Amanda thinks that she is the only one in that sea who is drifting. What do you mean by the word drifting? Something which is carried slowly by the water. So when you move slowly with the movement of something, okay, by the force of something. So she's thinking that where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So here she's thinking that she's like a mermaid. So what is a mermaid? Mermaid is an imaginary you can say creature with the upper part of the body of that of a female human being, and the lower part of the body is just like a fish. Okay, so she is thinking that she is a mermaid drifting blissfully. That means blissfully, happily. So very happily she is being carried slowly by the water. Okay, so these are Amanda's thoughts as you can say the reaction, or as her inner feelings, what she imagines after her mom points out her mistakes. So here in this in these particular stanzas we'll discuss the literary devices which are used. So the first literary device which is used is of course the rhyming scheme, the rhyming pattern. So the rhyming pattern here is A. So if you look at the verses, the lines, Amanda, Amanda, A, straight, B, and Amanda again, A. So A, is the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza. Now in second stanza, the rhyme scheme which is used is C, 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 which is SEAC, me, and blissfully. So the sound of E, that means C, C, C. Now let's discuss the other literary devices. The other literary device which is used here is anaphora. So anaphora is what? Anaphora is the repeated use of a word at start of two or more lines. Okay, repeated use of word. So here when you will see the repeated use of word which is don't. So the first two verses, the first two words start with don't, D-O-N-T, don't. So this is anaphora, which is a literary device used by the poet. The next is assonance. Now what is assonance? Assonance is the use of a vowel sound. Okay, a very strong use of a vowel sound that of course gives a rhythmic pattern also to the poem. So when you will see the lines, don't hunch your shoulders. So the sound of O is very much prominent. The vowel sound of O is prominent there. So assonance is used there. Now next is alliteration. So alliteration is a device, a poetic device wherein the consonantal sound is very prominent, and the consonantal sound is usually used at the starting of the word. So when you will see this first stanza, stop slouching. Okay, so stop slouching, the sound of S, the sound of is very much prominent there. Okay, so that is alliteration, right, wherein the sound of S is being repeated at the start of closely placed words. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Stop slouching, sit and straight. Next is imagine. Now the next literary device is imagery. Of course, imagery is when you read something, your mind creates the pictures of something, because the words are so strongly placed that your mind is tend to create a scene, a picture of whatever you are reading. So when you read these beautiful lines, basically the reaction or the imagination of Amanda, in every stanza wherein Amanda is imagining herself to be free, you will sense that imagination. So here when she is saying that she is drifting blissfully like a mermaid, you know, a very strong picture of a mermaid gets created in your mind. Okay, next is allusion, which is of course allusion is the mention or the reference of a very well known person or place. So here the allusion is used in the form of a mermaid. So mermaid is a very well known imaginary creature which you must have read, and which has a very strong connotations or strong connections with the world of imagination. Okay, the next is repetition. So when you see a repetition, of course the word, the name of Amanda, because you know you can relate very well, even your moms might be, you know, continuously taking your name again and again. So in a similar way you'll find the repetition of Amanda. So the repetition is basically used by a poet to stress upon something, right, or to emphasize something. So here the girl, through the girl's name, you know, the emphasis is being laid on, you know, the center of attraction of the mother. That so the Amanda is always at the center of the thoughts of the mom specifically. Next is metaphor. So metaphor is basically a comparison which is derived between two different objects, two different things. So here the use of the word emerald sea. Okay, for green color of sea, being similar to the color of emerald, a precious stone. So there metaphor is used. Now I hope this much is clear to all of you. So we'll move on to our next pair of stanzas, right? Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Okay, so here in this particular stanza, again the mom is nagging, the mom is scolding her, and this time she is the poet uses interrogative statements. Now, even again, I need not remind you again and again, but you can relate very well with your own moms, that usually they have a lot of questions to ask the little kids when they are not able to organize and keep their things in place. So the moms keep reminding the kids, especially the teenagers, to do the things well, or to tidy up the things, or to keep the things at a proper place. So this is what Amanda's mother is also doing. So she says, did you finish your homework, Amanda? So she's asking Amanda, did you finish your homework? Then she says, did you tidy your room, Amanda? So did you clean your room, Amanda? Okay, so she's reminding. These are all reminders, basically. In the form of reminders, these interrogative statements are being used. I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. And then she again reminds Amanda that I have told you some work, I have given you some work, I have asked you to clean up your shoes. Have you done that, Amanda? And again this word Amanda is being repeated to emphasize on, you know, the importance of Amanda, that, you know, the Amanda's moms basically, you know, Amanda is always at the center of her thoughts, the center, the pivotal place that Amanda holds in her mom's life. Okay, now let's talk about how Amanda feels. So, the thoughts of Amanda, again in parentheses in brackets. I'm an orphan roaming the street. I patterns of dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So, you know, she's saying, she's thinking that I'm an orphan, so she feels that I'm an orphan roaming the streets. So she feels that if I am an orphan, I have no parents. Okay, who is an orphan? A child who has no parents, neither mother nor father. So she says that she thinks that she is an orphan who is freely roaming the streets. Okay, she is free. There's no one, you know, to bother her. There's no one to scold her or to nag her or to remind her of doing things. So she is free like an orphan, and she is roaming on the streets freely and happily. I pat on soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Okay, and she's saying, what do you mean by hushed? Very quiet, and, you know, a still place, very quiet. So she's saying that I pattern is to create patterns. So she's thinking that I am creating patterns, as if I'm roaming on the streets, and while roaming, I'm creating patterns on the very soft dust with my very quiet, that is something which is not making any noise. So very quiet still place, very quietly, a very quiet bare feet, that means bare which are uncovered. Okay, nange pair. Okay, so on with my uncovered feet, I am creating patterns on the soft dust, moving freely on the streets. The silence is golden, and, you know, as her mother keeps on nagging her, scolding her continuously, so she's thinking that silence is golden. Okay, so she thinks that, oh, silence, that freedom, the silence of that freedom is golden, the freedom is sweet, and she compares freedom with sweetness, that how sweet freedom is, and how valuable, like gold, silence is. So, you know, in this poem, in this stanza, basically Amanda's mother is inquiring about her, whether she has done her homework, whether she has cleaned up her room, and she's reminding her of cleaning her shoes, etc. Right? Okay, now let's discuss the literary devices used here. So first of all, we'll talk about the rhyming scheme. So in stanza 3, the rhyming scheme which is used is A once again, which Amanda, Amanda, A, then choose B, and again Amanda, A, right? And then in stanza 4, again you will find the rhyme scheme as C, which is street, feet, and sweet. The next literary device which is used is, of course, anaphora. Anaphora, I have told you earlier also, it is the repeated use of a word at start of two or more lines. So did you finish, did you tidy? Okay, so the first two verses of the first stanza of the third stanza, there the repetition of the first word did is giving us an idea of the use of literary device anaphora. The next is assonance. Assonance, again, I'll remind you the use of vowel sound, okay, which is very prominent in any particular verse. So here the use of a vowel sound O is very much prominent. Okay, so thought, told you, your shoes. Okay, so the sound of O is very much prominent there, right? Did you tidy your room? Okay, did you finish your homework? Okay, so the sound, I thought, I told you to clean your shoes. So the sound of O is very prominent in the complete stanza, specifically the verse number 3. Then the repetition, the use of the word Amanda is being repeated continuously. So that is another emphasizing on the importance of Amanda, right? The next is metaphor. So metaphor is used at two places here, of course, comparison of two different things. So silence is golden. So silence is being compared with the valuable thing, which is gold. Silence is said to be glorious, okay, very valuable like gold. Then next is freedom is sweet. So freedom is said to be sweet in taste, okay, something that is enjoyed by everyone and liked by everyone. Okay, so let's move on to the next now. Next pair of stanzas. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Okay, so here again in this particular stanza, the mom is once again reminding her of so many things. First of all, she reminds her of chocolate, and she says, don't eat that chocolate. So she says, don't eat that chocolate. Why are you eating that chocolate? Don't eat the chocolate, Amanda. And then she reminds her of her acne. What is acne? The pimples which basically develops on your skin due to closing of your pores because of excessive oil. So she's reminding her of her acne that she must have developed on her skin, and asking her not to eat don't eat that chocolate, not to eat the chocolate. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? And she's telling Amanda that when I'm talking to you, give me importance, make me feel that you are listening to me. So you should be looking at me when I am speaking to you. So she is again reminding Amanda of looking at her mom when she is talking to her. Now Amanda's thoughts, again in parenthesis. I'm Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. So, at this time Amanda imagines that she is Rapunzel. Now, who's Rapunzel is a famous character a girl who was, confined to a huge, a very tall tower without any staircases, and whenever that witch used to come, she used to call out Rapunzel, and Rapunzel basically she drops her long hair for the witch to climb up with the help of her long and strong hair. Okay, so, and there's no other way to climb up that tower. So Amanda is feeling that she is Rapunzel, Okay, and she says that I don't care about anything. So she says life in the tower is tranquil. What is tranquil means? Calm and quiet. So she feels that the life in the tower, as there's no one who can come up and disturb Rapunzel. Okay, so she thinks that I am Rapunzel, and the life in the tower is so calm and so quiet, so peaceful, which is very rare. Okay, which is very unusual. Normally, not everyone enjoys such a life. So this is very unusual to enjoy such a peaceful and calm life in the tower all alone. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. And she says that, of course, I am not going to drop my hair for anyone, so that anyone can climb up my hair and disturb me, and break my peace and break my calm. Okay, so she is talking about that imagination where she feels that she is Rapunzel, a famous character. Now, of course, in these lines, Amanda's mother is disallowing her to eat chocolates, etc., because of her pimples, acne, and she imagines her to be Rapunzel, etc. She thinks, again, focusing on the freedom that she wants to enjoy. Now, let's talk about the literary devices used here. So, the literary device first is allusion. Okay, first we'll talk about the rhyme pattern here, which is used again. A is the rhyme pattern in stanza 5, and in stanza 6 C. So let's look at stanza 5. Stanza 5, A, which is Amanda, you and Amanda. Then next stanza number 6, C, care, rare and hair. Right. The next literary device which is used here is allusion. Now, allusion, again, use of a famous a reference to the famous character, etc. So, the famous fairy tale character Rapunzel is used here. The reference to this famous character is given. Okay, so allusion. Then next is assonance. So assonance is the use of a vowel sound which is very prominent, specifically, right. So assonance here is the use of a vowel sound E and O in this verse. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you? Okay, so here the sound of E and O is very much prominent. Then consonance, the use of R. Consonance is, you must be knowing, consonance is the use of a consonantal sound which is repeated continuously. So the difference between alliteration and consonance is, alliteration, the sound which is created is specifically, it appears, the repetition appears at the beginning of the word, but in consonance the use of that sound can be at any place in the word, right. So consonance is used wherein the use of the sound R, R is very much prominent in line number 3 in stanza 6, which is, I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Okay, till bright hair. So the sound of R is very prominent. Then again repetition is used, which is the repetition of the name of Amanda. Now let's take up the next one, which is the last stanza, 7th stanza. It's, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Okay, so sulking means be in a very bad mood. Okay, sulking is in a very bad mood, something which is in a very bad mood, specifically upset, a kind of being upset. Okay, next is moody, which is your mood is very unstable. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, etc. Okay, and nagged is to scold someone. Okay, to harass, to scold someone. So here her mom is saying, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. So she says that stop that sulking, stop being in a bad mood, Amanda. So she's telling Amanda, stop being in a bad mood, Amanda. okay, you're always so moody, and she's telling her that you're always so moody, your mood is continuously changing. Okay, your mood is getting swings continuously, sometimes good, sometimes bad, so why are you so moody? Okay, why your mood is so unstable? Anyone would think I nagged at you. So she says that anyone who will look at you will feel that I am continuously scolding you, or I am continuously nagging at you and continuously scolding you, or harassing you, right? Then last verse, of course, the word Amanda once again. Now let's see the literary devices which are used here. First of all, the rhyme scheme is AABA, wherein again Amanda is AA, U is B, and Amanda in the last verse is again A. The next is alliteration. So alliteration is, of course, the repetition of a consonantal sound at the beginning of the words, which is very prominent. So here in stop that sulking, the sound of S is very much prominent in closely paired words. Then repetition, again the use of the word Amanda is being repeated continuously. The next is of course imagery, right? So imagery is there in the whole poem. We can say that, and you can recall and you can imagine even your mom when your mom scolds you and nags at you. So you can very well connect yourself with those things, and you can create a imaginary picture in your mind when your mom is scolding you, when your mom is asking you not to bite your nails, when your mom is asking you to finish your homework, etc. So continuously in the poem your brain might be creating rough pictures in your mind for you to imagine all those things, how Amanda might be feeling at that time. Okay, so this is all about this poem. Alright, so a very beautiful poem, very easy to connect because this theme is picked up from, we can say, the real life situation of a child. Okay, so you can very well and very easily connect this particular poem with your day-to-day life. Okay, so this is all about the explanation of the poem. I hope you have understood this poem well, and we will meet next time with another poem, with another set of explanation of another poem. If you have any doubts, if you have any trouble understanding this poem, do write to me in the comment section. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe this channel and to hit the bell icon for continuous notifications and reminders. Once again, thank you for listening to me, and all the best. Bye bye.